Hey there friends, welcome back to What the What? Today we're diving into some Reddit stories, but these are a little different. I was thinking as we were heading into fall, we could start reading some weird and creepy stories as we work our way to Halloween. Now, you know Reddit is a gold mine of incredible experiences and downright creepy stories. Today, we're gonna start on the lighter side with some stories from r/creepy encounters. Before we start, I want to hear from you in the comments section below. Have you ever stumbled upon a mind-boggling Reddit story that just stayed with you? Share your experiences below for me. Now, grab a drink and some snacks, and let's just jump right into some creepy encounters. So, for our first story today, this is going to be Creep Actually Hugged Me. I just found this thread and realized I have a good one. I, 32 female, live in a pretty small town with one main grocery store. Last year, the store hired a new employee, a large, older man, probably in his 50s. The guy would be stalking a certain part of the store, and he would always strike up a conversation with me and try to talk to my kids. I would consider him overly friendly, but I'm an introvert, so I thought maybe it was just me. I was polite, but short. I think most people would have gotten that I clearly didn't want to be bothered. Well, one day a few months ago, he approached me and told me that it would be his last day on the job and that I should come visit him at his new job, which was kind of weird in and of itself because I don't know this person. I was relieved that it was his last day because I always dreaded running into him. He just gave me a bad feeling, like he'd ask me over and over if I needed help after I'd already said no. He would also say weird things like we were his favorite part of the day. He just made me uncomfortable. The following day, after his last day of working there, I'd run back to the store for a couple of things I'd forgotten. I saw him as soon as I entered and quickly turned away, hoping to avoid him. Thought it was weird because he had said the previous day was his last day. I quickly walked through the store trying to get what I needed as fast as possible. I saw him down every other aisle. He looked like he was looking for me, like he was craning his head. I was picking up the last thing I needed when he quickly, practically running, came up to me and offered me some chips he was eating. I declined. He started talking to me, asking me questions about how I was and what I was up to, the brand of chips he was eating. He was just trying to make conversation with me. Then he started saying that he expected to see me at his new job again. I made some non-committal comment and was about to say have a nice day and walk away when he got very close, like inches from me, and asked me how I was in a really weird way. And he was just staring at my ring finger. I had taken my wedding band off while I was lifting weights that morning and forgot to put it back on. I said, I'm good, and started to push my cart forward when he freaking full-on hugged me. I do not know this person. I completely froze. I wish I'd made a scene. I wish I'd shoved him. I wish I'd yelled. I don't know why I just stood there. Who freaking walks up and hugs a stranger? He stood back and looked at me to see how I'd react. He winked at me and said, have a good day, and walked off. I should have started screaming at him. I started literally shaking and bolted down the next aisle and started crying. It felt gross. It felt like he was seeing how far he could push it. I was scared he'd follow me home or he'd be in the parking lot, but he wasn't. I started crying when I told my husband about it. My husband was really ticked off at the nerve of that creep. He asked around about him at work, and some people that had gone to school with him said that I should be careful. It's such a small town. I frequently worry I'll run into him again. Next time, though, I will freak the F out on him. Alright, and story number 2 is followed by Creep at Walmart. I don't usually bother posting anything on Reddit, but I figured that typing the situation out might make me feel a little better. So I am 23 years old, female, and living on my own. I just moved out to the area for school and went to the local Walmart to gather supplies for cleaning. As I walked in, I took note of an older man near the entrance that I briefly made eye contact with and nodded at, and just kept walking. Looked at folders for a bit, and then made my way towards the electronics section at the back to look for a charger. I was making my way through the aisles, on the way down, looking at the fall decoration. Lots of them were geared towards kids, so I glanced at them quickly and turned around to leave. The same man was there. I didn't hear him walk into the aisle, and was holding/inspecting some paper plates with childish Halloween designs on them for kids. I thought it was a little strange, but brushed it off, thinking he had grandkids. I left and made my way to the electronics section where they kept chargers behind locked glass doors. I'm there for about 7-8 minutes, and the same old man shows up. At this point, I'm pretty far from where I last saw him, and I see in the reflection of the glass that he is checking out my ass as he walks by. I brush it off because I'm used to men making quick glances like that in public, and left it at that. He is looking at the display behind me at the other side, goes to leave, and then this is where it gets creepy. He stands right behind me and starts aggressively eyeing me up and down while licking his lips, paying particular attention to my backside and my legs. He's basically undressing me with his eyes. At this point, he was giving off massive creep vibes, and I started shaking with adrenaline. I was alone in the aisle with him and was afraid he would try to grab me. I stayed calm despite my throat feeling like it had a ball in it, and waited for him to leave. He does. Then I go to a random aisle nearby electronics in the general part of the store. I noticed there were 2 men behind the electronics counter and wanted to stay near them if something went wrong, and waited a few minutes just standing there to see if he showed up. I wanted to confirm if he was following me or not. Sure enough, 5 minutes later, there he was. I caught him quite literally speed walking down the main walkway, looking down each aisle as if frantically looking for me. He stopped dead, saw me notice him, and promptly scurried off. Went to the electronics section and informed them I was being followed and was not comfortable, and asked if there was security. They didn't have any, just theft prevention, and they offered to check me out there and accompany me to finish shopping. They were very kind, and I took them up on the offer to get my cleaning supplies nearby. As we turned together, the same guy was standing further away staring. He literally just increased the radius he was using to follow me and was watching from the front of the registers now. I got my stuff, checked out, and then we weaved through all of the clothes section to leave from a different section than the one I originally entered in and saw him from. I didn't see him at all this whole time. Got to my car, promptly drove to my new place, but stopped halfway at a random neighborhood. I pulled over and pretended that it was my house to see if anyone was tailing me. Did not want this guy to find out where I was living. And then drove home when I didn't see anyone. I may be overreacting, but this is a new area to me, and I've never had someone be quite that creepy and persistent in following me. I've done things on my own plenty of times and never had an issue. This all happened in the middle of the day at like 3 p.m. I was wearing loose clothes and just wanted to make a quick trip in and out. I had no idea what could have happened if I didn't notice, or what his intentions might have been. I can't imagine they were good. Maybe he would have followed me to my new place. Who knows? Either way, the whole encounter was scary. He had no clue I saw his reflection and the nasty expressions on his face. Just stay aware, guys, and watch yourselves. And that's a wrap for today's video. I hope you enjoyed diving into these creepy stories with me. If you found this video entertaining, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. On my channel, you'll also find some other AITA stories. If you're interested in those, I'll leave a link up here. If you liked these creepy stories and want more, please let me know. Thanks again for watching, and I can't wait to see you in the next video.